got scars on the outside, says they're the worst kind, and I don't ask. She turns the lights out and locks the door. If this is fate, count me out. Never try, please never try to hold her down. Broken home, broken bones. She never told anyone but me. Everything seemed make-believe. We both ran. You can't ever catch horizon. Guess that's why we've both been riding so damn long. She says she thinks of me as home. This is fate, count me out. Never try, please never try to hold her down. Hands on hips and lips to lips.
Another type of graph that is often used in business operations is the line graph or the time series graph, showing the change in values over a period of time. And what you saw me do while the music was playing was create a statistical summary sheet and the beginnings of a line graph that showed the change in the silver price over a 1 year period. What I want to do now is go back and more slowly show you how to create a line graph. We know how to do a statistical summary sheet. We've done that enough. But I'll go ahead and go through those steps again, just as a review. But the focus here is the line graph, which you see on the screen in front of you right now. And it's not complete. When the music was playing, I didn't go all the way through the process. But you will notice that everything I did while the music was playing, which is pretty much the entire process, only took about 3 minutes. So once you get good at Excel, what we're learning to do and what we're doing in Excel won't take you that long. But it takes repetitions, it takes practice. Just like anything else in life, you got to practice it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And that's one of the reasons we have a lot of repetitive kinds of assignments in this class. It's to give you additional repetitions, additional experience, additional practice with the different methods. But I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and delete this sheet. Where's delete? There we go. Delete that sheet. Then I want to go ahead and clear the contents of the statistical summary sheet that we have here. Start from scratch. Again, I've already got the table basically set up with the different measures that we're using. Again, the variable we're looking at are silver prices, dollars per ounce for the period October 9th, 2022 through October 6th, 2023. And the data are in this sheet also. There's 380 data points, I believe, or 360 data points for the year, for the period, something like that. So it's a little more than a year. But these are, for the most part, daily silver prices measured in dollars per ounce. That's a common unit for measuring the value of silver is dollars per ounce. Or you may also see dollars per kilogram in some reports and some resources, but we're using dollars per ounce. First thing I want to do is how many data points are there in our data set. So equal count and C2, through C309. That's the range for our silver prices, C2 through C309. Oh, 308, not 380. So, and again, that's 365 days in a year, but keep in mind, trading usually doesn't take place over weekends and holidays, so that's not every day in the year from a calendar standpoint. Now, what was the average price or the mean price during this period? C2, C309. Average silver price during this period was $22.97 per ounce. Standard deviation, and we're going to treat this as a population and use the standard deviation for a population formula. Again, these are all the silver prices for this period, October 9th through October 9th, 2022 through October 6th, 2023. So we're going to treat that as a population. STDEV.P is what we want. C2, C309, enter. And the standard deviation for that period is 1.65. Median, C2, C309. The median was $23.23, so 50% of the daily prices were below that value, 50% were above that value. The high value for this period is important, so equals max, C2, C309. The highest price during this period was $26.10 per ounce. The lowest, we'll use the minimum function, C2, C309, enter. The lowest price during the period was $18.28. And we can use these values to find our range. It's going to be the high minus the low equals 2610 minus the value in that cell. $7.82 was the range from low to high during this period. Again, all a review, I know, but it's good to review. More reps, more review, more it sticks. Now we want to do what is really the focus of this video and create a line graph showing how the price of silver changed from day to day throughout this period. And once we have a line graph set up, that can be very important for forecasting and predicting, which is when we're talking about stock prices, when we're talking about silver or gold prices or platinum, any commodity price or precious metals price, forecasting is a big deal. And the time series analysis or the line graph is an important tool there. And I'm not going to create my line graph on the same sheet. I'm going to create a new sheet for my line graph. So plus, let's go ahead and rename this. Let's go line graph silver. And we need to, hold on, I got something. You can't see it. Actually, you can see that, I think. Let me move that out of the way. What we want to do is insert. And you would think it would be a line graph, insert line or area chart, but that's really not the best tool for the type of graph that we're creating. Use the scatter plot and use this option here, scatter with smooth lines and markers. That's going to create a scatter plot in essence with all the points connected by a line, and the lines are smoothed, which gives a better look to the scatter plot. So let's go ahead and go with this option here. Now we need to select our data, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the range for the data. It's going to be equals silver, that's the sheet name where our data are located, exclamation point. We want to pick up all the data that we need. We need the dates and the values to create this line graph, and all of that data is in B2 through C309. Enter. And that's just about all there is to it. Again, I'm going to clean it up and show you what else we need to do to make it presentable, but that's the line graph. Important part of time series analysis and forecasting, showing the change in daily prices for silver during this period, October 9th, 2022 through October 6th, 2023. Now all we need to do is a little bit of tweaking to make it more presentable. One of the first things we need to do is change the range for this y-axis, the range of values for the y-axis. We know from our statistical summary sheet that the lowest price during this period was $18.10, I think it was. So we don't need the y-axis to go all the way down to 0. So we can change that. So to change that, right click, highlight, right click, format axis. Then over here on the right we see minimum 0 and maximum 30. Let's change that minimum to 15 and enter. Okay. Now we can add axis titles. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is date. And then we have silver price. But I want to go back and change this. That's too small. Let's go ahead and bounce that up. There, that's good. You go up to 24. And you'll notice different videos. I won't always go up to the same size for the axis titles. It's good to be consistent between your y-axis title and your x-axis title. We have date. I'm gonna tweak this a little bit more too. Let's say dates October 9th, 2022 through October 6th, 2023. And you'll notice along the y-axis, the beginning date is 8/27/22. We don't really need to go back that far. The end date is 11/20/2023. So let's tweak this a little bit. And this is a little more challenging because you notice when we highlight that, we have our minimum. It's not a date, it's a value, 44,800. Let me check something here. Let's see. Now, I don't think there's anything we can do here. We just have to tinker with this value here until the date that we want as our starting point for our x-axis appears. So let's just change that 44,800. Let's try 44,850. And there may be a better way of doing this, but if there is, I haven't learned it. I don't know everything about Excel. Okay, that's 1016. That's when. Okay, that's a little bit too much. So let's try 8840 or 44840. Oh, that takes us back to 106. The first date in our series was 109, so that's good. Now on the other end, let's see what we can do with this. We don't need to go all the way out to 1110. So 45/240. Let's try, and let's do this in small increments. Let's try 45/230. And that's 921. Let's try 45/235. And I know you're thinking, why is he so particular about this? Well, it makes a difference. I mean, when you're preparing these tools for a presentation, for a report, for an analysis, the little things people notice. People notice the little things. So I don't think we're going to be able to get any better than 921. We do know that the last date is 10/6/2023. When we put our cursor on that last data point, it shows 10/6/2023 and our price of $21.59. Now you're probably wondering, or probably asking, should we put data labels in here? Data labels are tricky when you have this many points. Let me show you what happens when you try data labels. I mean, it can be done, but it takes a lot of work to get it formatted just right when you have, again, we have 308 data points here. And let's see. We end up with just a mess of overlapping values that are very hard to see. You really can't make any sense of it. But this is where your statistical summary comes in. Your statistical summary sheet, you're showing the high, you're showing your low value, you're showing the average, standard deviation, you're showing some other statistics that along with this will help make sense of it. So long story short, if I'm doing this, I'm not going to use data labels. What I am going to do, perhaps, I'm going to change our aspect ratio, the size a little bit. Aspect ratio can, and that aspect ratio is the ratio of height to width or width to height. And in graphing, we got to be careful with our aspect ratio. Let me show you what happens. It's going to look entirely different if I change the aspect ratio to this. That's not a good presentation of the data. So let's go ahead and spread this out. Same thing if we change the height. That's not terrible bad. I mean, that's still it's not what I would go with. I would go with something more along these lines to display the change in value for silver prices over this period. Now, the most important as far as titles would be the chart title. So in your assignment, you will need to do a chart title, axis titles, and so on. So let's go ahead and do the chart title. Just highlight that box and enter your chart title. Silver prices, dollars per ounce. October 9, 2022 through October 6, 2023. There we go. And I'm going to change the font so the title is at the same size or larger than what we have for the axis titles. And I believe our axis titles were 24. So let's go 28. There we go. All right, that's pretty much it. That's how you do a line graph to show change in a value over time, which again is a commonly used tool. Stock prices, precious metal prices, commodities prices, and it's a very important part of the forecasting process, or the forecasting being another word for predicting the future value of a particular commodity, precious metal, or stock.